Watching the Highlight Zone with WANE 15 Sports Director Glenn Marini. Local sports coverage you can count on.
It's the Highlight Zone. Yeah, the Highlight Zone. It's the Highlight Zone. Yeah, the Highlight Zone. It's Friday night. We on the Highlight Zone.
We need this. You know, this is what we've been working for all season.
They have dogs, but we can outdog them.
No one can go into this game like it's just a normal game. This game means a lot to everybody on this team.
It's going to take everybody all the time, every rep, 100%.
If we do our job and are successful, then we have a shot at winning the whole thing.
Rivalry week, you know, week 7 within the conference is exciting. We're just excited about Friday Night Football.
It's the Highlight Zone. Yeah, the Highlight Zone. It's the Highlight Zone. Yeah, the Highlight Zone.
It is one of the biggest and best nights of the season, no doubt about it. We are talking about SAC Rivalry Week, and this year, it's even more intriguing. Coming into Week 7, check this out. 5 of the conference's 10 teams tied for the SAC lead. 2 of those tussling at the Dean. Josh Ayan joining us now with your Highlight Zone Game of the Week. Josh.
Well, Glenn, this rivalry dates all the way back to 1971, but both the Spartans and the Chargers are in contention for the SAC crown this fall. Now, historically speaking, Homestead leading this series 36-17, but Carroll coming into this matchup running a 5-game winning streak against their oldest rival. Homestead at Carroll, it's your Highlight Zone Game of the Week. Now, both these teams coming in 3-1 in the conference play as 2 of the 5 teams tie for the conference lead. Now, Carroll is able to get the wagon rolling early and often thanks to Asher Wagoner. Wagoner capping off Carroll's first drive with a quick touchdown run to make it a 7-0 lead. And folks, this will turn out to be a busy first quarter for the Chargers. After a Homestead punt, this is Gabe Freisinger flicking one to Jaden Van Pelt. It's a 67-yard touchdown. Yes, I know, 6-7, a 67-yard score. Yes, Doug Dinan definitely loving that score as Van Pelt and the Chargers up 14-0. We're still in the first quarter when Homestead throws an interception right to the sophomore, Henry Scholl. And Scholl shuffling his way for a 23-yard pick six. Carroll out to a commanding 21-0 lead. And yeah, that victory bell will be ringing all night long on Carroll's sideline. Now, Homestead looking for any sort of spark on offense. That's a nice completion right there. Frieden hook it up with Carter Kennedy as the Spartans are in the red zone. However, Carroll's defense turned the Spartans away right here as that is Van Pelt proving he can do it on defense too, and he comes up with the interception. Carroll's defense pitching a shutout in this one as the Chargers roll past Homestead 49-0.
Just growing throughout the season, you know, first game was kind of rough. We get Jaden back the next game, have a big game. Just grow upon your failures, learn from them, and then move on, get a couple wins in a row, and now we're rolling.
We got to have physical pass rush. We can't get upfield too much. We got to cut back inside, and we really got to limit the QB because I've said it time and time again, best QB is one on the ground.
It's got to be complete. You know, if you're going to make a deep run, you're going to continue to play hard. You know, you got to win out here to give yourself a chance to be a conference champion. You know, they got to play this way all the time.
Up next, Homestead is going to host Homestead will host Northside next week. Carroll is at Northrop. Glenn, take it away.
Okay, speaking of the Bruins, Spooler Stadium supremacy on the line here. Northrop's last win against Snyder came back in 1999, 26 years ago. First quarter, David Callison to Quay Guilford, and folks, that's a big man football right there. The Ohio State Buckeyes recruit with the touchdown catch, and Northrop up 7-0. How about this? Max Johnson's pass. As Snyder trying to get something rolling with that offense, it got blanked by Homestead last week. It's intercepted by Kamari Underwood. And guess what? Ensuing drive, it's second quarter. Kobe Reese would score 14-0, Bruins in the lead. Then you're going to see Callison to Maddox Weil, and the sophomore takes this baby to the house. And for the first time in 26 years, the Bruins top Snyder definitively 35-14 at Spooler. At Lewis Field, we got the battle of the Bishops. We got Lewis, we got Dwenger. This one has some extra juice since both teams came in tied for first in the SAC. In the first quarter, Colin Campbell with the touchdown and Dwenger on the board up 7-0. A little more Dwenger as they move the football, this time through the air. Nick O'Keefe with the reception and a nice run after catch. However, the Saints wouldn't get any points out of this drive. Second quarter, Lewis football. Braden Migrant gets the Knights on the board, but that's the only touchdown for Lewis in this one as the Battle of the Bishops goes to Dwenger 27-7. Historic night at Jack Weicker Stadium. We're talking the 100th anniversary of the totem pole game between Northside and Southside. Third quarter, it was 14-zip Northside, but Devin Patterson finding pay dirt. He's in. Southside now on the board, a 14-6 ball game. Southside wasn't done. It's Patterson to Tavares, Snow, ice cold. Touchdown, 14-13, Northside up just one. But they get another TD to the Legends, and then in the fourth, it's 21-13, Caleb Kangley. Kangley says, "King me," with a touchdown, and Northside wins this one 28-13.
Hey, it feels good. Big rivalry. Won it for the past 7 years, and I plan on keep winning it. We just stayed together overall. It was a lot of commotion going on with just the back and forth, both two teams, but we're the one that came on top, and we stayed together.
Just staying together, you know, we had some adversitized moments, and we just came back. We didn't yell at each other. We didn't get on each other. We just picked each other up and just moved on to the next play.
Southside is a really good program. They're coming up. They're getting better. And we knew it was just going to be a war. And, you know, being up 14-0 at halftime, I told our kids that those kids were going to keep fighting. That's exactly what they did. I'm just happy we responded.
Last stop on the sack, both WANE and Concordia looking for that first dub of the season. Generals doing it on the ground here. Kamari Morris to the house, kind of up the gut right there for a touchdown. That's the first score of this ball game. Makes it 7-zip Generals. But the Cadets firing back here in the second quarter. Eli Trent hooking up with Mike Henley. What a catch from Henley. Got the Tootsies in, as you saw. And the Cadets feeling good. Tim Manigal's boys on the board. At that point, it was 7-6. You're going to see Jace White with a rainbow here to Tyree Eldridge. Generals take a 14-6 lead, but Concordia goes on to beat WANE 21-20 as the Cadets snap a 14-game losing streak. At Zollner Stadium, Blackhawk Christian taking on Irvington Prep. And we picked this one up in the second quarter. It's Dylan Grimes. Grimes grinding his way into the end zone. And guess what? Blackhawk and the Fightin' Bennetts leading 29-0. Bryce Bennett, the head coach. Chip Bennett probably knows him pretty well. And Chip Bennett, you know what? He's pretty good too. He gets a touchdown run right here for Blackhawk Christian. Man, their offense got going in this one. 35-0 after that Bennett touchdown. Later in the second quarter, you're going to see Maxwell Warner to Cruz Rothenbush for the score. It's a thing of beauty for that Blackhawk offense tonight, 66-0 over Irvington. In the NE8, East Noble in the driver's seat for the conference title. The undefeated Knights at 4-2, Columbia City. Second quarter action, Riley Biddle throwing to Alex Phillips for the touchdown, and East Noble up 7-3. But ensuing kickoff, Columbia City's Gavin Smith was so key for this team last year on the defensive side of the football. This year as a senior, they're asking him to do more, and he does. Returns the kickoff for a touchdown. Now, Columbia City led in the second quarter, 10-7 after that, but East Noble would rattle off 34 unanswered, including this Riley Biddle touchdown, as East Noble stays unbeaten 41-10 at Columbia City. Good matchup at Huntington North. We got the Vikings hosting a Leo team that came in 5-1, that lone loss to East Noble. Third quarter action, Huntington North's Lathan James to Christian Jemison, and Jemison coming down the sideline. He's got some open space, but a good tackle right there to keep him from scoring, but Leo up 28-7. Later on the drive, that big gain led to this. It's James running it in for the touchdown, and it's a 28-14 ball game. Leo's still up by a couple of touches. You're going to see Nathan Foster with a touchdown here. He had 212 yards rushing, 4 total TDs, 3 of them on the ground, as Leo withstands a good Vikings effort, 35-28. Up in Waterloo, DeKalb's been a nice surprise this season with a win against Norwell. The Barons would be 5-2 in the first quarter. They get right to it. Eli McCormick, yeah, eluding that Norwell D. They thought they had him. They don't. Bo Meinhardt, the senior tight end, with a 31-yard touchdown reception, and the Barons up 7-zip early. Later, that Norwell defense, yeah, they didn't get Eli McCormick on that last play. They do get him on this play. It's E.J. Morgan, the youngster, coming in and getting a sack, but Ryan Robertson's team would answer the bell. You're going to see McCormick right at the end of the first quarter to Noah Spears. And Spears with 6 as DeKalb, man, Barons 5-2. They win it 42-0 over Norwell. Last stop in the NE8, Bob Worthman Stadium. We're talking Belmont versus New Haven. And we picked this one up in the first quarter. It's DJ Simpson, and Simpson picking up some good yardage here as New Haven already on top 6-0. Later, Trey McCraney caps the drive with a touchdown pass from Ethan Wake, and New Haven is in business. A little bit more in the second quarter. Watch DJ Simpson. You think you got him? No. His nickname is Lunchbox, and the kid was eating on this play. Simpson all the way in for the touchdown, and New Haven wins 45-22 over the Braves. Well, that is a wrap on the SAC and the NE8, but coming up next, we're going to check in on the ACAC. Adams Central, fresh off a dominant game of the week win last Friday against rival South Adams. How would #1 ranked Jets, how would they fare against a trip to Pinedo, taking on a Southern Wells team that is up and coming? Plus, conference championships on the line in the NECC. A West Noble win over Lakeland, and the Chargers would win the Big Division title. A Churubusco win against Central Noble, and the Eagles would win the Small Division crown. We're going to see how that shakes out coming up your way next here on the Highlight Zone.
More Highlight Zone coming on next after the break.
Don't be satisfied with good enough. Don't be satisfied with, hey man, we finally put DeKalb back on the map. People with cameras come over now. We're on people's news and different things like that. That's pretty cool. No, take the next step.
I mean, I think it's pretty cool. Hey, that was DeKalb head coach Ryan Robertson. You can see more behind the scenes with Coach and the Barons this coming Wednesday in your Highlight Zone 2-minute drill. Meanwhile, in the NECC, a West Noble win against Lakeland here in Week 7 would mean the Chargers would finish 4-0 in conference and win the Big Division title for the second time in the last 3 years. Lakeland trying to keep that from happening as we go to a sweet showdown in the marshmallow capital of the world. I'm talking Ligonier, Indiana. First quarter action, Braden Holbrook, the senior QB, to Levi Cook, as Lakeland trying to matriculate the ball down the field, but they would not score on that early drive. In fact, we're scoreless in the second quarter when Trey Schischler decides to run it in, and that puts West Noble on the board up 7-0. Later in the second quarter, how about some defense? Lucas Kilgore sacking Holbrook right there. Lakeland falls to West Noble 34-7, and the Chargers clinch the NECC Big Division title. In Albion, it's the Battle of Baseline. Busco at Central Noble, a win by the Eagles, and they clinch the NECC Small Division title for the second year in a row. And guess what? In the third quarter, it was well in hand. Ooh, Colt Singleton with a touchdown. Like the effort there at the goal line as Busco up 48-3, and they would leave no doubt as to who the team to beat in the NECC is this year. It is Jackson Brock with a nice touchdown run of his own that made it 55-3. And Busco goes on to clinch the NECC Small Division title for the second year in a row, 62-3, your final against the Cougs. Moving on, we got Fairfield, we got Garrett. The NECC Big Division title winner last year was the Garrett Railroaders as they look to stay on track against Fairfield. Second quarter, it was 7-6 Garrett. Garrett was driving, but Fairfield's Lincoln Wagaman with a tackle for a loss. The Railroaders do get on track, though. Second quarter, it is Alex Guzman, number 44, stud out of the backfield. He is down at the 4-yard line, out of bounds at the 4-yard line with 9 seconds left before the half. Very next play, Caden Bush to Braden Nussbaum. That is a touchdown. Garrett gained some momentum going into the half, and Garrett does come out winning this one 21-14, your final in overtime. Good matchup on paper in Steuben County, 4-2 Eastside at 4-2 Fremont, but Eastside, man, they took control early. Joe Richmond to Jake Worstler, and Worstler weaves his way in from 41 yards out to give Eastside an early 7-zip lead. Now, Fremont would respond with a touchdown, but Richmond again, Richmond to Worstler, excuse me, that's a touchdown. Eastside wins it 42-13. In the ACAC, conference leader Adams Central at Southern Wells. The Raiders already with 2 wins this season, their most since 2019, but this is not going to help. Early in the first quarter, Thomas Laughlin right into your living room. Good work by our photographer, Adam Solarzik. That's a touchdown. Adam Central up 7-0. Later in the first, Jamison Roach, the junior QB, you know, he came into this game 20-1 all-time as a starting quarterback in high school, and he would make it 21-1 because Adam Central taking care of business. Braylon Reber, the senior, preseason All-Fab 15. He shows you why. Such a matchup problem in the ACAC. 88 yards to the house as Adam Central stays undefeated, 48-7 over Southern Wells. Undefeated Bluffton hosting Adams Central next week. The Tigers with a tune-up perhaps against Heritage. We picked this one up in the third quarter. Already running clock. Kamel Moore with a first down for Coach Kunks in that Bluffton offense. Thought this one was going to be a little bit closer, but man, Bluffton was looking good on offense, then looking good on D. This is Rafe Gerber with an interception for the Tigers, and the Tigers pitch a shutout. They're going to need that kind of performance next week against the Jets. It's Bluffton 35, Heritage nothing. Down in Bern, the Starfighters looking for a bounce-back win after last week's loss to the Jets, and they start early and they start scoring often. This is the first play from scrimmage, and this is Titus Lehman, the senior quarterback with the keeper. 70 yards on that score, and it's 7-0 South Adams in the lead. Next South Adams drive, it's Lehman showing off the arm this time instead of the legs. Derek McCain had over 900 receiving yards last year. The senior with a touchdown there. South Adams rolls over Jay County, 42-16, your final in Bern. At 4-1 in conference, Manchester trying to stay in the hunt for a TRC title. The Squires at Whitco. First quarter action, Manchester's Reese Gardy, and Gardy says, "You can't guard me." He goes 53 yards down the sideline for a touchdown, and the Squires on the board, up 7-0. More where that came from. It's Landon Bean from 9 yards out, and Bean, he knows where the camera is. Yeah, the Squires with a touchdown there. 14-0, Manchester in the lead. They were not done. It's a pretty good Manchester team. Got a nice senior class. Dallas Martin with a rainmaker to Eli Metzger for a touchdown. That made it 21-0 as Manchester goes on to win by a final of 42-0 over Whitco. Final stop, we're talking NLC. Bart Curtis and Warsaw 3-1 in conference. Tigers on the road at Mishawaka. The Cavemen 4-0 in conference. Late second quarter, Warsaw's field goal blocked by Camden Putz, and it's 21-14 Cavemen at the half. In the third quarter, the Cavemen start to put it on. Caden O'Neal with a bruising touchdown run to make it 28-14, and Warsaw gets knocked off by a really tough Cavemen squad, 42-21 your final. Stay tuned. Gem of the Night is coming up next here on the Highlight Zone.
We are the Southern Wells Raiders cheerleaders, and the More Highlight Zone is next.
Welcome back to Highlight Zone. This is Bishop Wars.
And this is the Gem of the Night.
Let's go! Yeah! Let's go! Yeah! Yeah!
Here at Peter Franklin Jewelers, we are proud to support local high school athletics. That's why we continue to sponsor the Highlight Zone on WANE TV.
Congratulations to this week's winner of the Gem of the Night, presented by Peter Franklin Jewelers.
Hey, this week's Gem of the Night, we gotta go to the New Haven and Belmont game, and DJ Simpson. Man, who's the greatest running back of all time? Some people say Walter Payton, some people would say Jim Brown. I think it's Barry Sanders, and this, folks, man, if you're ever a Lions fan, this is a Barry Sanders type run. Watch him change direction in the backfield. There's one defender that's missed. Then a couple defenders right there, 4 red jerseys right there, and then he beats him to the corner and finds the end zone. DJ Simpson going to get one of those sweet new t-shirts. Again, they call him Lunchbox, does the New Haven coaching staff, and yeah, this kid ate as New Haven picks up a victory 45-22, and Gem of the Night courtesy of Peter Franklin Jewelers, DJ Simpson, and the New Haven Bulldogs. As for next week, oh yeah, we're talking week 8, and we got a bunch of games that are going to be important as far as conference races go. The SAC, we told you at the beginning of the show, 5 teams came into tonight tied for first place in the SAC. two of the teams that are still tied for first place would be Carroll and Northrop. Both of them won tonight, and Carroll and Northrop. That's going to be a huge game next Friday night here on the Highlight Zone. Meanwhile, Snyder at Bishop Dwenger. Dwenger also tied for first in the SAC. They got some tiebreakers with that win over Carroll. However, Northrop did beat Dwenger, so we're going to have to see how it all shakes out. Plus, Northside at Homestead, Adams Central's at Bluffton, both teams undefeated, and West Noble at Churubusco, the divisional champs in the NECC, squaring off. We'll see you next week in Week 8. For Josh, I'm Glenn. We'll see you next Friday night.